All right, 9.5b. In this lesson, we're going to start simplifying complex fractions. Okay, complex fraction, what it comes down to, is basically a fraction over a fraction. Now, there's two routes we can take. Like if we look on the left side there, okay, we have an operation in the numerator where we do 3/8 plus 1/4 divided by that 25/16. So what we could do is we could simplify that numerator. Okay, so doing that actual operation, which would tell us 3/8 plus that 1/4, but again, we need to have common denominators when we add. Okay, and that common denominator in this case is going to be that 8, so multiplying both top and bottom of that 1/4 by 2 to get us that 2/8 over that 25/16. Okay, then from there, actually adding that numerator, 3/8 plus 2/8, we're going to get 5/8 divided by that 25/16. And then at this point, then we have a fraction divided by a fraction. And again, when we divide fractions, what we do is we multiply by the reciprocal. So in this case, it's actually saying 5/8 times 16/25. Now you can multiply that out, or what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to simplify. Okay, I know 5 over 25 is going to be 1/5. 16 over 8, that's 2. Then multiplying it across, 2 times 1, 2 over 5. Okay. So again, that's simplifying numerator denominator to get one fraction on both, and then multiplying by the reciprocal. Now, the route we're going to go, though, okay, is we're going to figure out the LCD of every denominator. Okay, so in this case, we're looking at 3, 5, 6, and 2. We need to find that least common multiple, okay, which in this case will be 30. Okay, so we got an LCD of 30. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to multiply both top and bottom by that 30. Now, when I multiply by 30, I got to take it to both parts. Okay, 1/3 times 30, which would give us 10, plus 2/5 times 30. 30 over 5, that's 6. So that's basically saying 2 times 6, which is going to give us 12. Okay, on the bottom there, 5/6 times 30, 6 over 30, that's 5. So 5 times 5, which will be 25. And then 1/2 of 30 is going to be that 15. 15 over 2 is 15, or 30 over 2 is 15. So then simplifying there, you're going to get 22 tenths, okay, which does simplify, dividing both top and bottom by 2 to 11/5. Okay, so again, that's the route we're going to use. It's quite a bit easier to use that when we start using polynomials in top and bottom. Okay, it's just using those factors. All right, so simplifying complex fractions. All right, so again, what we're going to do is we're going to look at each of the denominators and again, figure out that LCD. Just like we did when we were adding and subtracting, we just pick one of the denominators. Okay, so if I start with the x plus 2, that's going to go in our LCD. Okay, and then when I move here, I already have the x plus 2, so I don't need to add it. Okay, and when I finally go to the third denominator, I don't have just x. So in that case, I'm going to add it to our LCD. Once you figure out that LCD, multiply both top and bottom by that. So we're going to have 2 over x plus 2. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in parentheses. And again, we're going to multiply by that x by that LCD. And since it's a fraction, I'm going to just put it over 1. Okay, because again, we can always write anything as a fraction, just over 1. So and then 1 over x plus 2. Plus that 2 over x. Multiplying that by that x times x plus 2. Okay, now with this one, you have to distribute it to both parts. Okay, so just simplifying that numerator, I have the x plus 2 already. Okay, so then that's saying 2 times x over 1, which is 2x. Okay, and then when I go to this one, it's a little bit different because I have to distribute it to both of those terms. I already have the x plus 2. Okay, so that's saying 1 times x, which will be just x. And when I go to that next one, okay, let's redo this here. Okay, I already have the x in this case. Okay, so 2 times x, so plus 2 times x plus 2, sorry. Okay, so what it basically comes down to is you're going to multiply that numerator by whatever that denominator is missing compared to the LCD. Okay, so in this case, we got to simplify that though. So 2x over x plus 2x plus 4, which will give us 2x over 3x plus 4. And again, that's 3x times plus 4. That doesn't factor. Okay, so if that factors, we need to make sure to factor that to make double check and see if it simplifies. In this case, it does not. Okay, all right, so next one. Again, if it's going to help you, write everything as a fraction, and we're going to figure out that LCD. Okay, so if we start with the 5, we're good there. Okay, 1 is a factor of 5, so then we're good there. 1 again. X, we do not have x, so our LCD in this case is 5x. So basically going to every single term, multiplying by that 5x. And then when I go to here, okay, I already have the 5, so we're missing, that denominator is missing the x. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that x plus 2 times x, because that is what that denominator is missing compared to the LCD. Minus 5 over 1, okay, that term is missing both the 5 and the x, so 5 times 5x. And then, okay, we're done with the numerator. 8, okay, that's the numerator, times whatever that denominator is missing compared to the LCD, which is 5x. Doesn't have either of those. Plus 4 times, okay, this denominator has the x already. It's missing the 5, so we're going to multiply by that 5. Okay, simplifying then from there, just multiplying everything out, okay, and doing the operations. We're going to get x squared plus 2x. Okay, minus that 5 times 5x will give us minus 25x. Over, okay, 8 times 5x will give us that 40x plus 20. Okay, simplifying then, combining our like terms, we're going to get x squared minus 23x over 40x plus 20. And again, at this point, let's make sure we factor to double check and see if it simplifies. Okay, both those terms in the numerator have an x. Okay, so that greatest common factor there was x times x minus 23 over 40x plus 20. 20 goes into both of those. So 20 times 2x plus 20. Okay, so then at this point, we're looking to see if we have like terms or common factors in numerator and denominator, which we do not have. So since that is the case, that is our answer. All right, so for the next one, again, looking at those denominators. Now we got that 2x plus 2. Okay, we haven't come across one like this. We haven't had to factor that yet, but this one does factor. Okay, so this is going to be 2 times x plus 1, so we can factor that 2 out. So when we do our LCD, make sure all those denominators are factored. So start with one of them. I'm going to start with that 2 times x plus 1. Okay, so we're good there. Go to the next one. Do we have just an x? We do not, so we got to add that to our LCD. 2, I have 2, therefore we're good. We've gone through all our denominators. Now we have our LCD. Okay, so again, when I go to the top here, when I look at this term, what is that denominator missing compared to the LCD? We have the 2, we have the x plus 1, I'm missing the x. So since that is the case, 15 times x, and we're done with the numerator. Now, when I move to the denominator terms, I have x. Okay, therefore that term is missing the 2 times x plus 1. So that's saying 6 times 2 times x plus 1 minus, okay, and then that denominator, that has the 2 already, so I'm missing the x plus 1 and x. So 1 times x plus 1. And again, from there, just simplifying everything we have. 15 times x is going to be 15x. 6 times 2, that's 12. So 12 times x, we get 12x plus 12. Okay, so that is the first one. Now remember, we got to subtract that whole thing. We're going to get multiple terms now. Okay, 1, we don't have to worry about that. We're going to get x squared plus x, and then multiply x times x plus 1. But remember, we are subtracting that whole thing. So when I simplify that, I'm going to get 15x. Okay, so then let's start with our squared terms. There's none over here, so 0 minus x squared. That's going to be negative x squared. Okay, 12x minus x, which will be 11x, and then 12 minus nothing, so plus 12. Now, when we do that, let's make sure to factor. Okay, so let's look at the bottom there. I'm going to factor out a negative right away, so then that way I have x squared minus 11x minus 12. Okay, so then we got 15x over negative. Let's check to see if that factors. It'd have to be x, Okay, it would have to be opposite signs. 12 and 1 looks like it should work, where the 12 should be negative. Okay, but then again, we don't have just an x, we don't have any numbers. So if that's the case, that is in simplified form already. Okay, next one then. Okay, again, going to each of the denominators, figuring out our LCD. We don't have to worry about factoring that at all in this case. So LCD, we're going to start with that x minus 4. We're good with that denominator. When I go here, I already have that x minus 4, so we do not need another one. X plus 1, I do not have that. So since we don't have that in our LCD, we add it. Okay, so then go into each of those terms in the complex fraction, multiplying by that LCD. And when I go to that, okay, x minus 4, I already have that, so I'm going to multiply 3 times x plus 1. Okay, I'm done with that term. Going to the next one, I have the x minus 4. I'm missing the x plus 1. So 1 times that x plus 1 plus 3 times, we have the x plus 1. I'm missing the x minus 4, so 3 times x minus 4. Okay, so we've gone through, we've multiplied the whole fraction, complex fraction by our LCD. Simplifying now. We're going to get 3x plus 3 over x plus 1 plus 3x plus negative 12, so minus 12. Combining like terms then, 3x plus 3 over, we're going to have 4x, x plus 3x, 1 minus 12 minus 11. Okay, so in that case, simplifying it then, 3 times x plus 1, denominator doesn't factor at all. Okay, so we don't have a 4x minus 11 anywhere, or an x plus 1 in both numerator and denominator, so nothing simplifies there. All right, so that was 9.5b, simplifying complex fractions. Homework 9.5b. Okay, we got some more, just doing operations with unlike denominators, and then some complex fractions there. So again, factor the denominators if they factor, figure out your LCD, multiply each term by that LCD. So basically what it comes down to, multiplying the numerator by whatever that denominator is missing compared to the LCD. Okay, that way it becomes one fraction. All right, so if you have any questions, make sure to let me know. Otherwise, have a good day.